I'm at the ICC Cricket Academy in Dubai, as I've been for the duration of the Asia Cup, covering all the games, and this is the training facility. Now, a lot of you would be familiar with this facility. That's because for the past few days the Indian team has been practicing, all the other teams including Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, everyone has been practicing. But why am I making this video? That's because there's something very special here. Something so special that's not available anywhere in the world. It's a fine idea that was conceptualized years ago. It's finally borne fruit. And what that is, I'll tell you in this video. What you're seeing behind me, these stretches of practice pitches, on the top it may look like any other practice facilities where you have 10, 12, 13 different pitches where teams practice. But what's different here is the soil that is being used, because every different part of this ground, the pitches are completely different. So they've tried to simulate English conditions here with soil from England. So English pitches, you'll have Asian pitches, you'll have Australia based pitches and New Zealand based pitches. All of that is available here. They've got soil from all across the world to make this facility. So what that does is it gives an opportunity to teams to practice in different conditions and different pitches. How have the teams been utilizing these facilities the last few years? What was the idea? How do they maintain all of that? That's what we'll tell you in this video. So come along. How many, firstly, different varieties of pitches do you have?
We have 4 different clays here at the academy. The majority here is the Pakistan clay from Nandapur, which is used all through the Pakistan grounds. We've also got the Gabba clay from Brisbane and Wacker clay from Perth, and the English loam from England. So they all behave quite differently. They all have their own unique characteristics of how we prepare them and how they play.
Perth is a bouncy track. It's not just because of the soil, but it's also the weather around. And similarly for every other pitch. But when you don't get the weather, can you really replicate it to the core?
I guess you can't replicate it 100% because there's weather conditions factors that come in that are kind of local to that area, whether it's Perth, Brisbane, England. We've got English clay. So it does create a few of its own issues, but when we prepare that pitch of that certain clay, we are endeavoring to make it as similar as we can.
कई बार ऐसा होता है जैसे इंग्लैंड की टीम है, फर्ज कीजिए वो इंडिया जा रही है, सब कॉन्टिनेंट जा रही है, तो यहाँ पे रुक जाए, या ऑस्ट्रेलिया की टीम इंग्लैंड जा रही है यहाँ पे रुक जाए, ताकि ऐसी फैसिलिटीज और तक कहीं है नहीं.
ऐसा हुआ है जी. अभी आपने जो मेंशन किया है एग्जैक्टली 2014 में, अगर आपको याद होगा, इंग्लैंड जो फेमस विन थी उनकी इंडिया में. सो प्रायर टू दैट these guys hosted a camp for about a month almost, and they were training on the Asian wickets over here. So कहीं ना कहीं उनको वो फ़ायदा हुआ होगा to acclimatize to the pitches and to the conditions as well. And you know, on numerous occasions ऐसा हुआ है कि teams prior to going to Australia or Asia, associate nations हो गए, international teams हो गए, they've stepped down here a week, 10 days, जो भी उनकी priority है उस basis पे उन्होंने camp किया है यहाँ पे.
The Australian team has come through a few times prior to India series, and then we tailor make some, let's say, some dry turning pitches for them, so they get accustomed to that. And then we've got UAE in now training for their World Cups down in Australia. So the next few months, the next couple of weeks, we'll be pushing out fast bouncy tracks for the UAE team, get accustomed to faster bouncy pitches for when they head to Australia.
So the first thing that came to my mind once I saw this entire facility and I spoke to the people in charge, whether it was the curator or the organizer, was that line from that famous TV commercial. What an idea, Sarji. But to maintain this idea, it's not easy. Yes, the idea may have been first written on paper, but a lot of things go into it. Bringing the soil is just one thing, but trying to maintain that same atmosphere here requires a lot of effort. You have a huge bunch of people here working round the clock to ensure that the conditions are such that the pitches can replicate or at least come as close to the Gabba or Nottingham or somewhere in Lahore, Karachi or Rajkot. Those kind of conditions they try and replicate. It's not easy. A lot of manpower manpower goes into it. But maybe food for thought for the richest cricket board in the world, one of the richest sporting bodies in the world, BCCI. Maybe have a similar facility back home. I know that they send a lot of air tours and that helps. But maybe if you have these facilities, you may not always need tours. Even players at the one level below the top level can also benefit from this by getting used to different conditions. Nikhil Naz signing off from Dubai.